How's it going, trainers? We've got yet another monotype cup coming up soon, being the Electric Cup. Will this cup be an electrifying meta though? Or will it be just another frustrating tiny meta like the Fighting Cup? Well, today I'm here to discuss some picks for the cup as well as a couple teams to try out. So let's charge up and get right into it. Welcome back, everyone. So the Electric Cup is a rather self-explanatory Great League format. Only electric types are allowed, though for balancing purposes, the bulky Charjabug and the ground-type Stunfisk are both banned. Now, it would have ended there, but last Friday, Niantic actually added Vikavolt and Heliolisk to the ban list. Why? Well, both learned Mud Slap, a ground move, so they would have definitely both dominated, even with their frail stats. So, who is good in this cup, you may ask? Well, up first is a Pokemon you've likely seen a lot recently, and that's Lantern. Now, it may seem silly, a Pokemon who doesn't resist electric due to its water typing. Well, most of the Pokemon here do try to avoid using electric moves, so it's not really as bad as you'd think. Lantern will have really good fast move pressure with Water Gun, a move that's only resisted by a small few Pokemon in the meta. Plus, Surf is an excellent move for this meta too. For the most part, you can probably get away with just Surf, with Thunderbolt not being too helpful in this meta, besides for opposing Lantern. Up next, we have Galvantula, who is pretty frail, but it's still incredibly useful with its charged moves. Rather than the typical Volt Switch, Galvantula will utilize the quick-charging Fury Cutter for fast energy gain and neutral damage, along with the attack debuffing Lunge, and Energy Ball to hit back at various bigwigs in the meta. It has the ability to beat pretty much anything in the meta besides Zapdos, but I honestly don't see Zapdos being too prevalent, so definitely consider this Spider Pokemon. Now the next three Pokemon I'm going to group together, because it's a whole Pokemon line. Alolan Geodude, Graveler, and Golem are all excellent choices in this cup as they do strong fast move pressure with Rock Throw, something that really helps beat Galvantula. All three will utilize Rock Throw for a fast move, and both Graveler and Golem will utilize Rock Blast and Stone Edge for charged moves, whereas Geodude uses a different set of rock moves. Though honestly, Geodude is a huge investment compared to the other two, needing to be level 50, which I don't think is very worth it when it performs around the same as the others, so unless you want a team of all three, I'd just stick with Graveler or Golem. Now, while both forms of Electro can find success in this cup, I did specifically want to highlight Hisuian Electrode due to its useful grass typing. Yes, it'll be weak to bug moves like Galvantula's Lunge, but it'll resist grass moves, something that several players in this cup have coverage moves in. Energy Ball will help it easily take down the Alolan Golem line and Lantern, just like Galvantula. Basically, I'd say Galvantula is more offensive and technical, while Hisuian Electrode is more defensive and safe. It's definitely one of the safer swaps in this cup too, and even though Wild Charge is resisted by most of the meta, it is still strong enough that it can be a good choice to throw out in a pinch. But up next we have Minun, who is a plain electric type with less of a gimmick like the previous Pokemon. Minun functions similar to Hisuian Electrode, where it's a more defensive choice with electric and grass coverage. The key difference between them though is that Minun is a pure electric type that has more bulk, while Hisuian Electrode is less bulky but has the grass subtyping. Still, it's a safer choice for this cup, with Grass Knot bringing some good coverage and Quick Attack being a good neutral fast move against most of the meta. And for our last pick, beyond the banned Mud Slap users, there is one Pokemon who has another ground fast move in this cup, being Luxray. But it is only through Hidden Power, so if you have a Luxray that coincidentally has Hidden Power Ground, it may be fun to play around with. It's still a pretty frail pick, but the combo of Hidden Power Ground and Psychic Fangs is a pretty silly one, and a defense debuffed opponent can still take a beating from Wild Charge. Honestly, Luxray is normally a pretty risky choice for PvP, but here, if you have a Luxray with ground hidden power, it'll be one of the best Pokemon in the cup. And before we move on to some teams to try out, there's some other electrifying options that I didn't mention, like Magnezone, Dedenne, and Zapdos, who are also alright choices for this cup, so don't think that because we didn't mention them that they're not usable. But now on to a couple teams. Up first we have Hisuian Electrode, Alolan Golem, and Graveler. This team is a relatively simple ABB team, with Electrode as the lead, and Golem and Graveler there to deal with Galvantula, who would threaten Electrode. This team can have issues if your opponent uses Lantern as a closer, but other than that, it'll be strong. The Golem line and Hisuian Electrode have really good synergy with one another. And for our second team, we have Galvantula, Minun, and Lantern. This is a team that does several different things. You have Galvantula, who can debuff opponents' attack and unleash powerful energy balls, Minun, the safer coverage option, and Lantern, who focuses on consistent water damage. You can beat just about all the meta with this team. It's just important to know when to align your Pokemon with specific opponent Pokemon to see success. For example, if your Galvantula is faced with a Golem, I'd switch to Minun to scare them into switching, but now you've generated energy to get closer to Minun's Grass Knot, which could definitely help take out the next opponent. And even if not, you can always let yourself faint and charge up Galvantula's energy ball so you'll be able to hit Golem next time it comes back in. I think beyond a few matchups, this team is very safe. Now, we normally do 3 sample teams, but honestly, this cup is similar to Fighting Cup where it's more one-dimensional and difficult to build teams around. Much of this cup will be built around aligning specific Pokemon around other specific Pokemon, but with the small meta, there's only so many proper teams. So I'll say this, take these 2 teams with a grain of salt. But that does wrap up this charged up guide. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll have more guides as new cups come to go and analyses on new Pokemon, so stay tuned for those. Until next time though, I hope you all have electrifying success in the Electric Cup, and thanks for watching.